Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here on Sunday the 20th of August 2023 with FLOSSTUBE number 180. If you've ever watched darts, and probably if you have a life you haven't, you know, when they call out the 180, the caller gets excited about that. Anyway, don't ask me how I know. So yeah, welcome back to my usually weekly YouTube series. I'm a lot better than last week, but I'm still not 100%. This bloody cough and sinus thing is lingering, and I've got a ear infection, fungal ear infection, and my left ear is a bit blocked, and excuse me, it's going to carry on throughout, I'm sure. I went to the pharmacy yesterday and the nurse had a look, and she anyway, she said, yeah, there's definitely a fungal, it looks like a fungal infection at the very least, and I need to get a prescription from my GP for something. So she gave it a bit of a suck out, and but she said it's quite inflamed, and she doesn't want to do too much more to it until that's dealt with, so it is still kind of blocked, which is great because I'm going to a concert tonight and I can't really hear out of my left ear, so that sucks, but it's not terribly painful. I think fungal infections don't hurt like a bacterial infection does, so that's good, I guess. But yeah, we're a few of us, a small group of friends, off to Postmodern Jukebox tonight. It starts at 8. Thankfully there's not a warm-up act because that would make it go really late, and it's already going to be late enough to get home on a school night, so but it'll be fun even though I can't hear half of it. Apologies if you can hear the dishwasher. I have to multitask. Got last load of laundry on for the weekend, dishwasher on, done all my ironing, I've cleaned the bathroom, so just have to really wipe the bench down and then vacuum, and the chores will be done for the weekend, which I didn't do anything yesterday. So given I've not been 100% and work sucks, August is, the work-life balance is definitely out of balance towards the work at the moment. I think it's going to continue through August. Just my project has some, doesn't matter, it's just hit some stuff that where it's gonna, like, we're gonna miss our deadline. It's just how it is. I'm just trying to work out, trying to get information out of people to recommit to a new deadline, but like we can't keep slipping, like just the resourcing sucks. So between feeling crappy and work and then sort of suffering from insomnia at times, I just haven't really got a lot of stitching done. I have a little bit to show you, and I know that my little bit of stitching is often far more than what other people do, but I didn't stitch on Saturday, I didn't stitch on Friday, I went to a movie on Thursday. It was my first day out of the house in 6 days, so we went into the office and I went to the movie, The Miracle Club. Sweet feel-good Irish movie, Kathy Bates, Laura Linney, Maggie Smith, and a bunch of others, and it was just one of those sort of, I don't know, lovely story about friendship and love, really. It was quite sweet. I enjoyed it. But anyway, so yeah, no stitching on Thursday, tiny bit on Wednesday, tiny bit on Tuesday, a bit on Monday, a little bit on Sunday, so and the only other update really is Dad's okay. He called me this morning. He had got up, had his home help come and help him with the shower and everything, but he'd gone back to bed because he'd been up a lot of the night with his back and stuff, and he had an x-ray on that, and if they can't see anything on that, they'll send him for an MRI. Who knows, but he's feeling pretty munted, but he's gone back to bed, so had a wee chat with him, and he was hopefully going to visit with his friends this afternoon and watch some motorsport on their Sky TV. I had an accident with my knife this morning. I was trying to chop up a couple of stale heels of bread that I made last weekend and to blitz to make breadcrumbs, and they are very dry and I wasn't concentrating and my bread knife skated across the top of one of the heels and went across here. This one's quite deep, but I gave it the old, 5 minutes of holding pressure on it to let it glue back together. That one's just a little bit grazed, but yeah. And I'm the kind of person that is band-aid coloured. My skin is band-aid coloured. So if people go, band-aids don't match anyone's skin, they kind of are pretty close to mine. So isn't that lovely? I'm band-aid beige. It's not at all an attractive colour. That's pretty much it. So I'm sure I'll continue to feel better, and once I get these drops for this ear, get that infection under control, and then hopefully deal with what's going on in there. And I was sort of okay, although she says it looks like it's been building for a while. It's been a little bit, can't do the old, but I had a shower, washed my hair, and she said, yeah, you want to keep it dry, and the water's just got in and got stuck behind all the gunk. So isn't that lovely? Are you glad you came along to hear about my blocked ear, my snotty nose, and my productive cough, and the fact that I'm just absolutely falling apart at the moment? But we'll carry on. So I haven't got anything new to show you. I forgot what I was going to say. I have bought a couple of things off of one of the stash unload sites in New Zealand. I can't remember which one, doesn't really matter, but they haven't arrived yet, so maybe next week if they arrive, maybe Tuesday. So just some fabric and a chart, so that's kind of cool. And other than that, I haven't even had a chance to look at anything, let alone buy anything. So also took my car in for a service, and that's bloody expensive. And all in all, I spent all my money. Okay, so what have I stitched on this week? So our ongoing hashtag, I still can't say it, hashtag stash sampler starts, that I'm starting 8 samplers from my stash in August and September. On Sunday I started sampler number 3, which was the Modern Folk Embroidery I Am No Bird, a Charlotte Brontë Sampler, which is being stitched on 40 count Tickle the Ivory by Dames of the Needle using Anchor Black. And yeah, this was number 3 and started on Sunday. And I only stitched on it on Sunday. Sunday afternoon I got a little bit done. So you'll see on the mock-up here, there's this intricate border, floral repetitive border, but there's sort of 2 rows of just solid X's. So I don't have to count. I found my corner and moved in a little bit, and I'm stitching the decorative border first, and then I can just whip around with the 2 solid black outlines. And yes, I will stitch them because I want it to be the same size as the Jane Austen sampler, and I need to do that. So anyway, I got a good start on it. So yeah, pretty much just did a few hours on Sunday, and I started down the bottom, so the bottom corner in, and just worked my way up, and then worked my way across. So I'm just going to work, next time I pick it up, I'll probably start back at the bottom, work my way across, and then across the top, and then hopefully it'll connect. But it's pretty, there's still a little bit I have to come back and do in here, because it was easier to kind of come up here, and I'll just need to put another little petal in there that I missed. But it's a pretty easy pattern, nice and regular to count. You don't have to count further than 9. So it's like 9 across and then 7 on the diagonal. So I basically, you know, run my thread and do that, then I come back, do some petals and the flowers, and then it's sort of easy to quickly find out if you cocked up or not. So yeah, a little bit of border. Happy with that little start. If I had been feeling better, I would have done another couple of evenings on it, but I just was not feeling well enough to concentrate. I just was, you know, it was like work, dinner, bed, read a book. That's pretty much all I did most of the week, and rinse and repeat. Then I needed to work on another one of my monthly projects, and that's the New Zealand Flowers Ball from Cherry Parker Designs. I didn't pull the cover page out, but I've shown this every month for the last, since I started in December. And what am I on? 25 count Lugana in the 3 called for colours. Am using called for DMC. And this was one of my starts for my 50 at 50 last year, and I intend to get it finished by fully finished the end of this year. So I worked on the next one of the octagons, and it's the Nikau palm, and I might just hold this up because I do like this to be my thumbnail. YouTube never picks good thumbnails. I have to go back and screenshot stuff, but anyway. So yeah, the Nikau palm, which is lovely, and just got a bunch of random French knots. French knots are great if you don't want them to look symmetrical and all the same size, which this design doesn't need them to be symmetrical and all the same size, and they're a bit random. I quite enjoy doing random French knots. I don't like doing French knots when they have to be very symmetrical because they vary anyway, and I'm too lazy to make them look pretty. But anyway, so yeah, pretty cool. Korfai, flax flowers, and the Nikau palm. Very happy with that. I am doing that as a stitch along with Jude from Christchurch, but I think she's a couple of months behind because she's been focusing on some other projects that have a deadline, birth samplers and stuff, so that's okay. But I'll see her in December and she can watch me put it together maybe if she's not ready to put hers together. And then I only stitched on one other project. This is where I'm failing miserably with my stitchy focus. So I picked back in June, I picked focuses projects for the next 6 months to try and get a couple more finishes and get closer to the goals I set in January. So my August focus is Save the Stitches by Liz Armand. Again, I don't have a mock-up or a cover page for this, but it's Blackwork Journey and it's free. It's a free sale on her website or her blog. It's a 24-part Blackwork project and it's quite big and I love it, but it just doesn't get pulled out. So I still want to do another at least, I'll show you what I want to do by the end of this month, which if I feel better this week, I do feel better, but if I feel more better this week, hopefully I can make a little bit more progress on it. So I pulled this out on like Tuesday, Wednesday, I think, I did a little bit. It's on 28 count Antique White Lugana, using a variation of the called for material, so DMC Pearl number 12 and DMC Stranded 310, DMC Diamant metallic, and I'm using gold, copper and pewter. The pewter is not what's called for, and Mill Hill beads aren't necessarily the called for Mill Hill beads because I just pulled some off of a rack way back when I kitted it up and they didn't quite have the right colours. So I am stitching it from the top down, which is unusual for me, and that's where we got. So what I got done this week, so I had all the back outlines done for this section across here. So I've got the infill just for these 2 wedges here. I had hoped to get all 4 done and I just ran out of steam. So if you're not familiar with this project, each of the sections has the design that's within it kind of changes over the design. They get thicker, they bring metallics in, they might start off like the one I just did here. So some of these flowers have beads in them, some of them have copper in them, some of them have a more sparse, and I could hear some of those squares are filled in like a kind of a hatch, and some of them are empty. So it's just, each of the designs kind of varies in its complexity as you stitch it. So it's kind of really interesting, but it does make it a little bit more challenging then, because once you learn the pattern, you can't just fill in the whole wedge, because the pattern typically has about 2 or 3 variations. So you've got to kind of read the chart. But I do love it. So I really would like to finish, I like it to look a little bit less swastika-y, like it does, swastika-y as it does right now. So I would really like to get all of this section filled in, all of these bits filled in. And it's quite a bit of stitching, but I'm gonna give it a crack and see if by the end of this week, if I can get like at least here done, and then hopefully next week that bit done. We'll see. It'd be nice if by the end of August I could have filled that in. And then I think that it will be a third done. I'd have got to a third. I'd hoped to get, oh, I don't even know. I think I put down a finish. It's not going to be finished. But anyway, it is a favourite. Melissa, who is a member of our Wellington Facebook stitchy group, and who actually, she's coming along to the concert tonight. She's also stitching this, and as well as Box of Delights, I think it's called, which is another free design by Liz Armand on a Blackwork journey, and that has, it's a bit smaller overall, but also each of the little rosettes have a different Blackwork design, but it's sort of the kind of project where you pull stuff out of your stash. You pull out bits of silk or beautiful variegated threads, and she's stitching hers with a whole bunch of, I think, the stranded, the DMC like colorist and stuff. It looks amazing. She brought it along last weekend, the other weekend when we had our Wellington Stitchy gathering, and she's so close to a finish. It looks really good, but she's also stitching Save the Stitches. And I've seen Catherine from Country Stitch, I've seen her finish of it as well. She did, instead of one of the metallics, she swapped out for a teal, I think, an aquary teal. I probably got that completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right, and it's amazing. I don't think she has it framed though. It was just, she visited her one time and she pulled out a whole lot of her finishes, which was amazing. So yeah, it'd be great if I can finish all of filling in that section by the end of August. So that is supposed to be my focus. That was about 1 night's worth of stitching to do those 2. So if I gave it another 5 days, including like next Saturday, for example, a good 4 or 6 hours next Saturday, I could fill it in. So we'll see. It's going to be another short video. I'm not complaining, given I have to edit it. But I do only have one more thing really, stitchy related, which is to pick sampler number 4 for my hashtag stash sampler starts. And I'll do that now. So there are 5 left in here, and we'll see what we get. I am making this completely random. Pulled one out, and it is, this is a big one. Cross Stitch Fun from Kesslin's, and I actually remembered to grab my bag of tricks, bag of these things, what do you call them? Kits. Here it is, Russell. Cross Stitch Fun from Kesslin's. I bought this from market, I don't know when, a couple of years ago. And on the front it's just stitched sort of monochromatic, and I'm gonna do it similar, like inspired by this, but the palette will be a little bit different. So still dominated by the teal colour, but the bright pops of colour I'm going to put a few more. And yeah, so I've got it on 40 count Copper Beech by Country Stitch using my own, I used my own conversion, which includes some DMC, some Silks for You, and some Victoria Sampler Shop. So that was the original palette that I'd pulled there, which has, a Silks for You for the darker teal, a DMC, so one of the DMC variegated 4025 for the lighter. Since the majority of it is this tealy colour, that's where the variegation is, 3799, and then 4 different Leigh colours. I could almost grab one of that Silks for You pack that came the other week, which has these 4 colours, but I'm not going to, I'm going to keep with these. For the majority of the smaller motifs that'll do colourful, but I also pulled in, when I picked this out for this project, I grabbed another green, a teal from Victoria Motto, just to add a little bit of green in, because anything that's kind of leafy I want to add, and in the way they've mocked this up, like the tree, they've done green and a little bit of green through it, so I just wanted to add that in as well. So it's going to be so pretty. Probably what I'm going to do, like I've got it, because it's a physical chart, and I've got it copied and pasted together. Probably what I'll do is, as I work through it, I'm probably going to mark it up with what will be what colour. E.g. the things that'll be, I don't know, what was I trying to say? Just to balance the colour a little bit. I don't know, we'll see how we go. But yeah, like probably the cat I'll make grey, the pear I'll probably make yellow. Haven't decided whether I'll stitch a motif with 2 different colours or not. Like where, say, the pear in yellow, and then the leaf in green, the teal green. I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. But I kind of want to, I'm gonna get. Thing is, I'll start probably on the border anyway. So it'll just be one colour next week. You'll see. Probably won't be that exciting, because the border will be the dark Silks for You, and I'll probably just work on the border and tease you all, really waiting for the colour to come in. So the fabric is Copper Beech by 40 count Copper Beech by Country Stitch. So it's very pretty, sort of soft bluey grey. So it's gonna look pretty. Most things look pretty. Like you have to just a nice not white background, because I don't really like stitching on white. I've got plenty of projects on white. So that is going to be #stash sampler starts number 4, and I won't be able to start it today. I haven't got time. By the time I finish my housework, and then my friend is driving over from Pahiatua, so she's coming here about 5, then we'll head in, have dinner about 6:30, then go to the show at 8. So this won't be started today. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. I don't know when I'll start it, sometime this week anyway. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for coming along and watching my FLOSSTUBE, and I do feel a lot better, but I just don't feel 100% myself, and it's really getting me down a little bit. We'll see. We'll see you all next week, and I hope you all are feeling okay. I know it's winter here in New Zealand. There's a whole lot of bugs going around. You know, we're out and about like we weren't for a couple of years, and just sort of getting back to that old winter ailments going around, really. I will see you next week, and in the meantime, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.